Hey everybody, so it's me, your girl G1 Writer with G1 Insights, and today I am discussing a topic that is very rarely discussed, okay? We are talking about being a compulsive helper. What does that even mean when you are not just compulsive, but you are a compulsive helper? Being a compulsive helper is one of a very big issue when it comes to human nature. And to be honest with you, a lot of people either ignore this trait because they don't even realize that they are dealing with this type of behavior, or some people just choose not to recognize it, or some people recognize it but they don't care. They literally enjoy being a compulsive helper. So, this is Think It Over Thursday, and you guys know it's going to be 5 minutes of real talk with G1 Writer. So, I have to share this information with you, okay? So, I wanted to explain a few things, okay? The first thing is, what is it? What does it mean to be, or what is it to be a compulsive helper? So we know I'm not talking about anything dealing with you're just naturally being a caring person, or you're just being genuine and being nice and you're just helping someone. That's not what I'm discussing here today. I am simply talking about compulsively helping. And what that means is that if you are this type of person, okay, you may find yourself helping people when they don't even ask for your help. Or perhaps I find that the compulsive person or the compulsive helper normally is attracted, not in a romantic sense, but they are attracted to, or they naturally gravitate towards in a person that is normally dealing with some type of addiction, okay? And so whether it is an addiction or not, I want you to understand that there are people in our lives that will, if you allow it perhaps, there are people in our lives that will gradually take advantage of this compulsive behavior if you are considered a compulsive helper, okay? So naturally, a compulsive helper, this is what I actually read upon, okay? Because I couldn't understand for the like of me, like why I will always be so eager to assist someone or to be there for someone, or to constantly make someone happy. Like, I just couldn't understand. Like, I get it. Okay, you can have a good heart without being the one that everybody takes advantage of. So I didn't really quite understand what that actually meant. So I had to do some research, and I wanted to really find out what is it about my personality, or at that time anyway, what is it that is making me feel drawn to wanting to be a compulsive helper. So yeah, you have people that literally enjoy helping others. They don't mind. They will do it with no problem at all. But if you find that you are the type of person where you help and it affects you at some point, where you are literally giving your all, perhaps I recognize that this happens. This actually happens a lot, like when a person is dealing with a person with addiction, or when they're in church, or when they're in a relationship that is full of abuse mentalities, right? Like, so when you're in church, for example, you don't have the money, but the pastor speaks something, and now you feel compelled to want to give your last bit of money. So the pastor may say to you, we need $150, okay? And at that moment, you may decide, well, I have, $75, and you know deep in your heart that is all that you have, literally. Like, you know that is all that you have. You cannot get to work. if you spend that money, or you cannot feed your family if you spend that money. You can't really truly invest in yourself or anything that you need to do because you spend that $75 and you turn around and you give it anyway. That is what this energy is all about. That is what I'm discussing today, being a compulsive helper, okay? Or perhaps if you are a member of a family where there is an addict, and that addict consistently comes to you because they know that you have a good heart, and they know that you won't say no. They know that you won't object to their activity. They know that you will just agree to do it right on the spot with no questions asked. Be very careful of that type of mentality, because I'm here today to let you know that you may be a compulsive helper and may not even realize it. But I take my hats off to those who realize that they are a compulsive helper. And I even take my hats off to, there's the people who are compulsive helpers and may not even realize that they are compulsive helpers unless they're dealing with someone who is completely healthy-minded, right? Like, see, when you're dealing with an addict, they will take advantage of it. And whether this is in a relationship or friendship or a business partnership, it does not matter. A person who has a healthy mind will let you know, listen, don't worry about it. I don't want you to do this for me. I got this. I can do this on my own. I don't need your money. I don't need you to invest in me. I don't need you to step up to the plate for me, right? But a person who has some serious, deep fucking issues, okay? A person that is either mentally disturbed, a person that possibly may be on drugs, or a person who is really, really destructive in their own world is naturally attracted to a compulsive helper. And the reason why is because they know that you will not object to their cause, so they are consistently taking advantage, okay? So how do you get out of this, this destructiveness? Like, how do you separate yourself? How do you break away from the confusion? How do you break away from the compulsive behavior? Because believe it or not, there is a deep, 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 deep need for satisfaction. There is a deep, 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 deep need for appreciation. If you know that at some point you like to give, and you only like to give because deep inside you like the appreciation. You like when somebody says, oh, good job, or thank you, I'm glad you did that for me. I'm glad you stepped in when you did. I'm glad you took that job. I'm glad you paid the rent. Or, those people that just glad that they tell you those things, and all of a sudden you realize that, okay, this feels good. I like that it feels good. So a lot of times what we do is we get so immune to the idea of being a compulsive helper that when something happens, we like when somebody keeps saying, oh, great job. You did great. I appreciate you. I love you for doing this. I love when you do that. I love how you stepped up. Keep on being great. Keep on being healthy. Keep on stepping in and taking over, right? Be wary of those type of people, though. Because, like I said, the person that is a compulsive helper is naturally attracted to an addictive person with that type of personality. And that person with that type of personality is normally attracted to, or normally gravitates to, the person with the compulsive behavior. So you have to get to the point where you are now separating that, and you are saying, you know what? Instead of me jumping ahead and always wanting to help, let me see, or let me just somehow be supportive without always offering my help. And guys, let me tell you, this is not something I'm just simply reading off of. This is something I have actually experienced. So my energy is a little different about this subject because I have actually experienced what it actually feels like to be a compulsive helper. And I think that the most healthiest thing that I have done was witness and understand that I have a problem. If I have a problem with being a compulsive helper, it's not saying to be cocky. It's not saying to be standoffish. It's not saying that you can't step up and help someone. That is not what that is saying. What that is saying is that you are not in a place where you want to be taken advantage of mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially. You are not going to allow someone to really truly misinterpret your heart or your true heart's desire. So, being a compulsive helper, you are normally always available, always right on time. Every time somebody say that they're going through something, you're just willing to step in, you're willing to help out. And to you, right? Because this is when you will know that you have a problem, right? So because to you, you may feel like, well, I just have a good heart. I just love helping people. I just love being there. I love making people happy. I love seeing the smiles on people's faces. So what happens when a drug addict comes your way? Are you objective? Or do you end up feeling sorry for that person? Do you end up feeling resentful because you don't give them your last $10? And they will cry in front of you. They will put on a big show. They will act like they really, really, really need you. What do you do in that moment? Do you rush to their aid? Or do you tell them to go get themselves together? So in other words, it goes like this. Do you enable them by being there for their every single, demand? Or are you disabling them by saying, listen, you need to go get yourself together. You need to go to therapy. You need to, drink more water. You need to be more healthy. Are you being supportive in that way? Or do you feel like if you are not, giving your last, that this person won't like you? What if I told you that you would be highly more respected by saying no than actually saying yes? What if I told you that you would be a lot more respected when you actually put some boundaries on the table and you actually set some boundaries and say, no, I refuse to be taken advantage of. I don't mind helping you, but my help is going to be out of love. My help is going to be out of support. My help is going to be from a distance. I'm going to love you from a distance because I understand that you need my type of love, but you need my love from a distance, because if I come too close, your energy is toxic and therefore it's going to affect me. So I cannot come too close to you. What if I told you that you can still be loved and supported and respected by literally saying no? I find that a lot of times we become a compulsive helper because we have a problem with saying no, 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 no. I can't do it. Not because you don't have that $500 to loan them, but I cannot do it. If I give you that $500, honey, I'm only disabling you. Not disabling you. I'm only enabling you to just be lazy and not go out and work for it. If I give you the keys to that house, that means that you ain't going to go out and work for it. That means that you think that you could just move in and not pay nothing, right? That means that I have to be a type of person where I just want to cater to your needs and, forget all about mine. And honey, let me tell you something. I've been there where I forgot all about me. Have you guys ever been through something where you forget all about you? Where you so dedicated. You're so dedicated to the cause. You're so dedicated to helping. You're so dedicated to loving this person and being a part of their journey and helping them grow and helping them flourish that you literally forget about you. Have you been that person? Have you been living in that moment? Because if you have, I can totally relate. And I'm here to tell you that you are making a huge mistake by believing that it is okay to be a compulsive helper. You have to literally break free from being the compulsive helper. The person, the go-to person. The person where every time they need something, they're calling on you. Every time they want to complain about life, they go to you. Every time they're in pain, they're going to you. Every time they need to tell you about their struggle, they're going to you. And let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with that, but how it affects your energy, honey, there may be a problem. Because if you realize that every time they tell you something, you get really sad or depressed because you can't help them out, something is wrong with that picture. Because I want you to know, honey, you can still be very loving and supported from a distance without giving a dime, without even actually being there. You can still be very loving and supportive. Okay? And it comes from realizing that you have a problem. And if you realize that you have a problem, then now you are no longer attracted to the addiction that people have. Some people have addictions where they feel like they need a compulsive helper. And as long as you are offering that help, honey, as long as you are there and around and saying, I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it, deep inside, I want you to understand one thing. Think about this. Are you doing this, right, because it's something you can truly live with? Or are you only offering your help for recognition? Are you offering your help because you want somebody to say, good job, I love you for that, I support you for that, I love you even more for doing that? If these people don't love you already without you even doing that, then something tells me that something is wrong with them and nothing is wrong with you. But as long as you keep indulging in that behavior, every time something goes wrong, that's when they notice you. Every time they're broke, that's when you're their best friend. Every time you're happy and they're sad, they want to come to you. Or every time they want to pour all their burdens on you, there you are. Something is wrong with that picture, my love, and you got to realize what it is. And so it's nothing wrong. Let me tell you guys something. There's nothing wrong with realizing that you are a compulsive helper. There's nothing wrong with that picture. I had to deal with the reality, and I said, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm no longer going to put myself in a position to feel guilty for not being there for somebody else, not out of hatred, but because I realize that I am enabling that individual. If I keep saying yes, what am I doing? That's not real love. If you really love a person, you will set them free, honey. You will show them the right way to go. You will stop always enabling them. Okay? So this is not a conversation about a drug addict. This is a conversation about a person who has an addiction to clearly always calling the person instead of getting their shit together. Because see, when a person is truly dealing with pain and they're dealing with a situation that they can no longer control, when they feel really down and out or fucked up or hungry or homeless or whatever the case is at that moment, right? When they're really feeling at their lowest, trust me, a person who is really ready for change will make that change happen. And there's nothing that you or anybody can say to make that go away. So you, even in that moment with you offering your help or giving your all, they may tell you, oh, thank you, I love you for that. And then, but you know what I noticed about the person with that addiction? They will turn around on you really fast. They'll turn around and act like you're a nobody. They'll talk about you really bad and they'll say really cruel things about you. And you know what's the worst part of it all? That appreciation that you were looking for, that gratification, that attention seeking, that love, that undeniable love that you were looking for, they're never going to give it to you because they were only coming to you for a particular cause. And then if they got that cause out of you, and then if they got that assistance, and then if they got that help, they no longer need you. So the moment that you decide, yo, I'm done, then they no longer need you. And this is when you can now decide if this person is for you or against you. This is when you can now decide, am I compulsively helping or am I really just being genuine? Am I being a caretaker or am I being caring? I want to just simply be a caring person. I want to know that you're doing your fucking best. I want to be there to cheer you on, and I want to make you laugh and make you smile, and I want to celebrate you from all corners of life, but I will not sit here and be a caretaker. I'm not going to be the one to enable you on your journey. I'm going to be the one to set you free like a bird. I'm going to be the one to tell you, you just fell down, honey, but you got to fight through the sand. You got to fight through the dirt. You got to fight through the rain. You got to fight through the wind. You got to find your way, honey. I can give you other resources. I can tell you where to go. I can teach you how to make money, but I can't make you actually do it. You get what I'm saying? Like, so you can love and be supported from a distance. And don't let nobody on this world make you feel like, you know, the world is against you because you're not doing what that individual want you to do. You are not pronounced as a user or a manipulator or a person that just like to hate people. You're not that type of individual. You are a person who have boundaries. You are a person who have actually acknowledged, listen, I can sometimes be a compulsive helper. And you know what, guys? Let me spit a little truth to you. When I realized that I was a compulsive helper, it hurt me. You know why it hurt me? Because I meant well. But honey, what I love about life is that it will smack you in the face so hard and it will make you realize some shit. So if you ever got to the moment where you literally have lost everything, where you have lost friendships, you lost family, where you lost your home, where you have lost your whole entirety, you know, your whole ego and your whole self-worth, and you're doing all this because you're literally trying to find your place in the world. So in the midst of you trying to find your place in the world, you're giving and you're giving and you're giving. And in the midst of you giving and giving and giving, nobody is accepting of you. Nobody is saying, I love you. Nobody is saying, I appreciate you. Do you know how fucked up that feels? If you are a compulsive helper, then surely you can relate to what the hell I'm saying. It hurts, right? When a person is saying things against you, or they're hurting you when all you do is try to do your best. It hurts. So what you do is you have to practice not being a compulsive helper. Be there. Answer the phone calls. Give great conversation. Be very loving and supportive. Take pictures. Do whatever you have to do. But don't give your all so much that you are left with nothing. And believe it or not, my love, this is a very common issue amongst Americans. This is a very common issue amongst young people. This is a very common issue for people that are married or coupled up. They feel like they have to keep giving and giving and giving and giving and giving. And in return, they get nothing, they get nothing, they get nothing. They feel unappreciated. The next thing you know, they are depressed, they are sad. And the next thing I know, they are at therapy, asking for medication or from something that they would just took a little bit of time and realized that they have a compulsive behavior. They could have addressed it. And I'm telling you guys, because I've been through that. I know what that feel like. When I was about 18, I think I was going on 19 years old. I had a woman tell me years ago, I was about 18 and 19 years old. I said, how come? I said, because the conversation was a lot about like love and sex and just young women really appreciating themselves, right? So I asked this woman, I said, I don't like my personality sometimes. And I was 18 years old, and I said to this woman, I said, how is it that I just keep giving and giving all the time? I said, but I don't get nothing in return. Like that, it hurts. It makes me feel rejected. This is what I expressed to this woman when I was 18 years old. And you know what she told me? She said it's because deep inside, you want some type of love. You want some type of appreciation. You're seeking something that is not really there, and you're trying to get it out of the people that you desire and love the most, and they're not accepting to you because you are enabling them too much. You're constantly giving and giving and giving. Why should they respect your boundaries? Why should they respect who you are when you're not setting no type of boundaries? You're just giving and giving and giving. And believe it or not, I'm not going to lie to you guys. It took me at least 13 years to actually to realize that. It took me about 13 years to realize, okay, I have a fucking problem. And not in a bad way, but in a way that makes me realize that I'm worthy of so much more, that I have so much to give, and that it is not to be taken for granted, that my beautiful love and energy and the type of passion I like to pour out can only be put into so many people, that my gift is not just for myself, but that it is for other people, that I have to be able to pour into people who are a lot like me, because there's a lot of people who were not shown the right way or not to be a compulsive helper. You can give and give and give, my love, but be wary of those type of people that just take advantage of that. They only come around to try to suck the living life out of you. And you got to wake up out of that coma you're in. Okay? I was 18 when that woman told me that message, and it took me 12 years or 13 years or so to actually realize that I have a fucking problem. Not because I'm a hard-headed person, but because I really, at that time, over that course of those past 12 or 13 years, I was still young, still trying to find myself, still trying to figure out who's there for me and who's not, who loves me and who don't, who respects me and who won't. I had to really, really figure that out. And you know what? Believe it or not, it's a lot of 40s and 50s and 60-year-olds that still don't know this shit. But I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to tell you, right, that you got to get it together. Because if you don't, you will continuously be a compulsive helper to a person that has an addiction. And the person that has an addiction will never actually admit to you that they have an addiction. They will just keep coming to you and begging and pleading and crying about their problems. And you ever try to give a person advice, and then 2 years later, they're still going through the same thing. And no matter what happens, you're still trying to give them advice. And then a year later, you're still trying to give them advice on the same fucking issue you tried to give them 4 years ago. Yeah, pay attention to that addiction. It is attracted to your giving mentality. Okay? So when it comes to being a compulsive helper, my love, I need you to realize this quick and easily. And I need you to deal with the fact that it's not a bad thing to be a compulsive helper, but you got to get it together. You got to know who's for you and who's not. Okay? You got to know that you can still be loving and supportive, but from a distance. You got to know that if you take a step back and be confident in yourself, that people are still going to love you, and people are still going to be respectful, that people are still going to honor you and appreciate you, even if you say no. So the first step is, my love, to get okay with saying no. I can't. I'm sorry. Not right now. I'm living my best life. I don't have time for this shit right now. Not because you're trying to be hateful, not because you want to just be mean, but because you have really now understand the purpose of not being a compulsive helper. You have now understood that if I really love someone, I will set them free. And that means in every aspect, because see, we cannot control circumstances and we cannot control people. But when you have a compulsive helper disability, okay, and I don't want to say disability, let me take that back. When you have a compulsive helper mentality, okay, you tend to just keep giving and giving and giving, and you'll be like me. Every year you will end up disappointed because you are consistently trying to be there, trying to help people, trying to love people, trying to guide. And let me tell you something, honey, you were not given that gift just so you can share it with everybody. Believe it or not, God has given you that ability and that heart so you can be able to go to the people who really do appreciate you. And so you can go to people who really do need your assistance. So you can go to people who really do admire you. So you can go to people that really do love you and that need your energy around. They need your positive energy. Okay? So forget about all those people that was not really that supportive of you. Forget those people that you have helped year after year after year and they never fucking mentioned your name. Or that they never supported you and they never loved you or uplifted you. Forget about those people. I don't want you to worry about a thing. I want you to realize that you have a problem and that you are working through it. And from this day forward, your answer is going to be no. I can't. I will not. I refuse, okay? Your answer is going to be no, no, no. I am focused on me And my beauty, my happiness, my health, my wealth, my overall being, I am focused on my love and light because I deserve to be happy. And right now, your energy and your addiction is not helping me. Okay? That is what I need from you, my love. So this is a lot of tough love for me today. I was only going to do 5 minutes. But I will tell you, this is such a touchy topic because I know what that feels like, guys. I know what it feels like to keep giving your all to people that you're in love with, or to people that you consider family, or to friends, or people that you call friends, and they claim that you're like their sister or their brother, but they really treat you like you're a stranger. Yeah, I've been there and done that. And I'm here to tell you that it hurts, and I know that it hurts, but you got to first realize that you have a problem. And when you realize that you have a problem, now you can separate yourself from the person who has the addiction. And the moment that you begin to separate yourself from the person or the people or the situation where you realize there's some type of addiction going on, some type of negative behavior that you don't want no parts of, my love, I promise you, you will be able to think a lot more clearly. You'll be a lot more happier because you just in your own little world doing you and ain't nobody fucking with you. And I promise you, it's the greatest feeling of them all. Okay, so I love you guys. Please comment and share this message. Okay, please share the message. Let everybody know about this message because I'm sure I'm not the only one that have dealt with this issue. I'm sure that there's a lot of us out here who have been dealing with this issue and may not have been able to actually accurately identify what this problem is. And I want everyone to be on the same page when it comes to giving out their heart, giving out their feelings, their emotions, their time, and their money. I want all of you guys to be on board, okay? So I love you. Thank you for listening. And thank you for watching. You have a great week wherever you are in this beautiful universe. And be good to yourself. Just promise me that. Say, I'm going to be good to myself. All right? Mwah. Bye, guys.